as a country, we have always moved forward, even if it is by one step. Every time we have put our heads together. The Kenya as we know it today was a product of talks that took place miles away in London at the Lancaster Constitutional Conferences. And therefore, anytime dialogue is proposed, I think Kenyans should always be, seize the opportunity and find out what it is that we are being called for dialogue. I know there are people who have challenged the Prime Minister and asked him why, his 10-point agenda, for example, have not been fulfilled. That was between him as the leader of ODM and President Ruto as the leader of UDA. The current call for dialogue, in our view, is different, and we are more excited by the fact, the proposal, that there be a referendum, because when there is a referendum, there is collective ownership of whatever will have been agreed, and therefore every Kenyan will be out there looking for its implementation.
Members of the fourth state, my fellow Nakuru residents, I greet you this evening. We have gathered here today to echo or to give a statement on what Right Honorable Raila Odinga said about the dialogue, and we have come with our team and the residents of Nakuru, giving our statement concerning the dialogue that has been proposed. So I could wish to welcome you all, as I welcome my sister here, Judy, to read for us what we have in our mind and what we are saying about the dialogue. So I welcome you all, and please be with us on this conversation. Thank you. Welcome, my sister Judy.
Statement on the state of the affairs for the dialogue on behalf of the various organizations that we associated with, ranging from civil society groups, businesses, and political informations in the Republic of Kenya, having gathered here for half of the day to take stock of the state affairs in Kenya from June 2024, when youth led countrywide protests to reject the 2024 finance bill. Wish to observe as follows, that we had our voices in support of the call of dialogue that has been proposed to address the long-standing issues that led to the start of the youth-led countrywide protest of the following conditions. That one, for the dialogue being proposed to be different from those that the country are done before, therefore must be demonstrated goodwill and good faith from key actors, more so from the government that has been at the center of the current accusations of failure to deliver on its elections promises. Two, that as the demonstrations of goodwill and good faith, we call on the government, MPs and elected leaders associated with is to refrain from hurtful and reckless statements that could otherwise incite communities against each other or poison the cordiality necessary to the realization of noble objectives for which the country seems to suggesting for national dialogue. Three, the government should desist from directing the police on how to deal with protesters, and instead focus on restoring the integrity of national security agencies that has been greatly undermined in the last 1 year, particularly in the wake of extrajudicial killing and protesters. Number four, that for the dialogue being proposed to be truly intergenerational as it has been suggested, we would want to see representations of all generations, the boom, the X, the millennium, and the generation X, adequately and fully represented in all decision-making processes, including the mechanism of proposed dialogue processes. 5. That the key success of the proposed dialogue are accountability and justice for all those that have been aggrieved by acts of law enforcement. Agencies that have lost lives, limb and livelihoods, we demand that this at the center of dialogue being proposed. In the meantime, we demand that the government respect human rights of all citizens as exposed in the Bill of Rights, and in particularly Article 29 that deals with the rights to security of the persons and the freedom of individual persons. We would also call for concerned and government-led efforts to curb the weaponization and militarization of politics as being manifested in the reemergencies of criminal gangs 2 years before 2027 elections. We call all the Kenyans, more so the political leaders, to desist from acts that could undermine credibility and standing of all the recent Constitutional Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC). We also witness a trend in which the police have been arresting protesters and confiscating their phones in the pretense of investigating their involvement in criminal acts. This is an unconstitutional and illegal and breach of fundamental rights and freedom of the affected persons of privacy. Thank you. My name is Judith Koech. I'm the founder of Ogiek Sisters Empowerment Network, and today we were here to give our statement. I'm also an indigenous human rights defender.
Kwa majina naitwa Mwangi Muraya wa Nyambugi. Mimi ni mwanachama wa Nakuru Human Rights Defenders Network. Na kwa kusema ukweli, hali ya taifa yetu jinsi tulivyo hatujakaa vizuri sana. Tumeshuhudia mauaji mengi ya vijana ambao wanajiita Gen Z ambao wamekuwa wakitokea kwa barabara kuinua sauti zao. Pia vile Wakenya wameharibiwa mali yao, na kusema ukweli taifa hili limekwama kwa wakati huu na kila jamii inatuhumu nyingine. Taifa letu tumeshuhudia wananchi viongozi ambao wamekuwa wakimwaga sumu, wakitisha wengine. Pia vile tumeona maongezi ambayo ni ya kuhujumu katiba yetu. Taifa hili Biblia yake ni katiba hii, lakini tumeona watu ambao wanaihujumu kila siku na ni viongozi ambao wana wajibu katika ofisi zao. Ni jambo la kusikitisha sana. Mwananchi ambaye amepewa kiongozi ambaye amepewa mamlaka na mwananchi kusimama na kusema ya kwamba mwaka wa 2027 takapokuwa tunafanya uchaguzi wetu kutakuwa na wizi wa kura. Tunaelewa vizuri sana kuanzia mwaka wa 92, 97, 2007 kulikuwa na umwagikaji mkubwa sana wa damu katika taifa hili. Na vinonda hivyo vimo katika akilini mwa Kenya. Na vinonda hivyo hakuna daktari wa kuwatibu. Na ndio wakati huu tunasema ya kwamba Wakenya tuache kurushiana maneno makali na tutafute suluhisho, tiba mujarabu ambayo italiponyesha taifa letu. Na tunasimama hivi na kusema, na tunaomba viongozi na Wakenya wote, ikiwa Kenya maneno yataharibika, hatuna pahali pa kupotelea. Sudan wako na migogoro yao, Ethiopia wako na migogoro yao, Tanzania ndio hao, ni ndogo sana, hatuwezi toshea tukiwa wote, na tumekuwa tukirushania cheche za matusi. Kwa hivyo viongozi ambao wana imani na taifa hili, tunaomba ni wakati wa kuketi chini na tutengeneze meza ya mduara ili tuweze kujadilia tofauti zetu, tupate njia ambayo itapeleka taifa letu katika mwaka 2027 tukiwa kama taifa, kwa sababu kila siku we are losing a nation. Every day we are losing a nation. Wanasiasa wetu wakifungua mdomo ni kutenganisha Wakenya. Kwa hivyo tungesema hivi, Bwana Raila amesema ya kwamba wakati umefika wananchi waweze kukaa chini. Na lile jambo ambalo tungemuomba rais Bwana Raila ni kwamba mambo haya lazima yatoke moyoni mwetu. Tusikue tena tunasema tunakuja pamoja na kule nyuma kuna watu ambao watatawanisha maongezi haya. Kwa hivyo ombi letu ni hili. Hatuwezi kusimama na kukaa chini tukiona Kenya ikiharibika. Gen Z ukiwasikia wanaitisha majadiliano ya kitaifa. Kanisa linaitisha majadiliano ya kitaifa. Waislamu wanaitisha mazungumzo ya kitaifa. Wazazi wanasema serikali iongee na vijana. Nadhani wakati umefika mwafaka tuweke tofauti zetu chini, na wale watu ambao hawaamini katika taifa hili wajue ya kwamba wale ambao wanaliamini ndio wengi. Kwa hivyo Bwana Raila, mimi ningesema tuweze kumsikiza nini anasema, lakini hayo mazungumzo lazima yaongozwe na Wakenya wenyewe, na ndio tumesimama hapa leo na kutoa hayo masharti ya kwamba sauti itatoka kwa Wanakenya. Asanteni.
I'm not a resident of Nakuru, but as some of you may know, I'm an activist of many years, starting from when I was a student at Egerton. And so I'd been invited by these fellow friends that I met so many years ago, that I've known for many years, to try and share ideas with them. And so I do not have much to add, but to reinforce the fact that as a country, we have always moved forward, even if it is by one step. Every time we have put our heads together, and at a time when we appear to be disintegrating, we have had a mechanism of coming together and ensuring that we put our differences aside. Those differences, be they political, be they generational, be they identity related, we have always had this capacity as a country to put those differences aside. And our history as a country, dating back from independence, indicates that even the Kenya as we know it today was a product of talks that took place miles away in London at the Lancaster Constitutional Conferences. After attainment of independence and after our struggles for second liberation, again we have had occasions when we have put our interests aside and talked as a people. We remember the repeal of Section 2A was done after so much pressure as we are experiencing today. The IPPG reforms that enabled us to get rid of the detention without trial act that brought about multi-party democracy and so on have all been products of dialogue, and therefore anytime dialogue is proposed, I think Kenyans should always be seize the opportunity and find out what it is that we are being called for dialogue. The only thing that the residents of Nakuru have said is that this dialogue that is being proposed must be different from the others that we have had before. We have not had a dialogue that is all-inclusive. I know there are people who have challenged the Prime Minister and asked him why his 10-point agenda, for example, have not been fulfilled. That was between him as the leader of ODM and President Ruto as the leader of UDA. That may not have been a national dialogue. And so we do not want the public out there to confuse small MOUs that politicians may have signed in the past with the current call for dialogue. The current call for dialogue, in our view, is different, and we are more excited by the fact, the proposal, that there be a referendum. Because when there is a referendum, there is collective ownership of whatever will have been agreed, and therefore every Kenyan will be out there looking for its implementation. And that is the context in which I joined my friends and colleagues in Nakuru to try to understand and take a position on some of those national issues. Thank you. Suba Churchill, I'm a human rights defender.
My name is Muna from Nakuru County. However, my mother and father call me Muna Mwinyi. I am a human rights defender and a Nakuru Human Rights Defenders Network here in Nakuru. Today I want to talk about the National Police Service. And when I speak about the National Police Service, all we are requesting is the police to honor, or rather to implement, the part of service, because it is no longer Kenya Police Force. It is now National Police Service. So we are requesting them to stop police brutality, to stop extrajudicial killing, and also to give us, as right holders, our rights whenever they arrest us. One thing that is very important, our police officers need to understand that they need to introduce themselves, tell us why they are arresting us, and where they intend to take us, so that we as right holders will be able to maybe to call our families, our lawyers, so that they can understand where we are. So it's a high time that we are requesting that they should stop abducting young people, because they are out there calling out whenever there's a violation against anyone. They should stop abducting young people because they're now more empowered, more knowledgeable on how our country is heading. The National Police Service should rather accord us security and to ensure that our safety is a priority rather than them violating our rights. Then I want to speak about to our political leaders. It's a high time that they need to also to ask themselves, are they really into political just because they want to ensure that their pockets are full, or are they there just to ensure that they give us quality and good services as wananchi? The one thing they should remember is that we are the ones who employed them, and come 2027 we are the ones who are going to make the same information. So I end up by urging all the young people who are now at age of 18 years, they should run to the identification offices and ensure that they register, they get an ID card, so that when we come 2027, we have a good number. And they should not only just take ID cards, but they should ensure that they take the ID cards and run to the IBC offices in their sub-county level and ensure that they register and start familiarizing themselves with the political leaders who wants to vie come 2027. They should start grilling them so that come 2027 they'll know who they want to be with, and they should not pick someone because this person has money, but they should pick this person because this person has implemented or done something for the community. This means if right now you are not doing anything, remember 2027 we are going to grill you and we're going to ask you tough questions of what you've done for us. Thank you.